Willow! 2 minutes off my hand. Why we get the lead on? Well, we had to go to the VATs. We're going to pets at home this morning. Willow! Willow! You're out of control! Out of control! This is a Crescent Link Retail Park, Londonderry. Going to pets at home. I don't trust vets. This is my 3rd pup now, like. I've learnt over the years. But when I lost my job 3 years ago, I thought, well, I don't know if I'm going to get another job or not. I had to make sure Willow was looked after, so I paid for a vet for life, or a vaccine for life. I think it was about £85. Willow, you pay for your dog for the vaccines for the whole life. And but the whole idea, Willow, mom, pet, what are you doing? My head on? Willow hasn't had a normal wee walk this morning. I had to rush down here just to help me back. And the whole idea is to get Willow, come on. Oh, you're going hyper now, come on. You see, you won't be so late once we're going here. Alright. Shouldn't have brought this right back, I stopped though. I'm going to pet home now. On that way. Right again. Yeah, you don't look at the sexy. Hey. Too many bags and things on you, trust me right now. I need the lift here now. Willow doesn't like the lift. But what does Willow like? Oh, Willow! Oh, what did I have to do? It's my slow lift.
Lift going up.
Willow does not like lifts, does not like actually shit. You know what I mean? Like, does not like beat. You realise she comes in here sometimes with me nephew and she gets treats and all. And then here with me, she's driving up here. Oh, I'm not going to go now, like. Those are supposed to be up on a shelf. I'll have to go with a wee careful push. Going down now, Willow.
Going down.
I feel sorry for the poor vet. I sort of give her a hard time. And that vet was very nice. But it's the usual script, like. And if I'd never had a dog before, I would just go along with everything. But when you've had a few dogs, you see history repeating itself. Especially like come now, she's got a wee lump on her chin. Got a test, it's not fatty. So that means now £140 for a biopsy. They find out, £140 to go to the lab to find out what it is. But it's always the same thing. £140, it's not going to guarantee you. Tell me what it is.
Level 0.
I know shoplifting you, come on, you look, you shoplifter. You're a shoplifter. Oh. Did ever do they for your house? You had to do your own shopping. You had to do your own shopping, I'll tell you. Well, I'll have a wee snack. You only go to the cat section, you eat anything, see what you would eat anything. I would check the prices out. Are you not up on the prices, are you? No. I have to buy the stuff. And any offers on there, Willow? Any offers on there? Oh, you like Wayne's right there? Oh, it's £39 a bag. Oh, yeah. You like the expensive stuff? Oh, if there's any cheap stuff here. Oh, no. You're going through all the expensive stuff. So, I'll tell you a thing about pets. Pets at home, no handy pets at home. But it's upstairs. And the only reason I went to Pets at Home was they did the vaccines for life. But the whole idea of the vaccines for life was a bit like somebody gives you, like Halfos give you a half price MOT. They want to make the money and send you the breakfast. And the whole idea of going there twice a year, do a free checkup, so they get the treatment. So I've been told now that she's got a, I had it pointed out that she's got a wee lump. She probably wouldn't have noticed if I hadn't said there. So it's a wee lump on her neck. She did the wee prick test. It's not fatty. It could be this, could be that, could be the other, or it could be cancer. And you pay the £140 to send off this wee prick sample, and it may come back inconclusive. Now, if she was honest, she should say 80% chance it's going to be inconclusive. You know it's going to be inconclusive. And then what you want to do then is you want to remove the lump and send the whole lump off. So then you're going to get an operation. That operation could be £200 or more. I don't know what pets at home would charge. An operation could kill her. She's 10 and a half. And you send away an operation, and then you send away the whole thing, and then that's going to be another, what, 140, 240 pounds. You see how the money's going to rack up here? But it ain't just the money. Shadow had his lump removed his paw 3 times, and every time it came back worse. If you got cancer and you leave it alone, I was even nervous about getting that prick done, because a prick can set it off. It's 10 and a half. I've lost a wee cat with cancer, I've lost the Shadow to cancer. Cancer, 2 in every 3 people is going to get cancer. There's no getting away from it. And you got to think yourself, well, what am I going to do with this cancer? I'm going to put her on chemo, take her to Dublin every day. She ain't going to go to Dublin every day. Even if I won the lottery, I wouldn't take her to Dublin or once a week, whatever it is, to get chemo on her, to be sick and vomit and all the rest. But the thing is, at the very start, I didn't get that sample checked with Shadow. And often would have made a difference. I honestly think if Shadow was put down, if Shadow was, I honestly think that if Shadow was, if I had paid the £80 to get this sample sent away from, it was £80 3 years ago, 140 with them, so bells are ringing. If I was to pay £80 to get Shadow sample sent off, and they told me it was an aggressive cancer, would I have had him 4 months later? The chances he would have been dead long before then. But then going back each time and getting the lump removed, Shadow hated the vet. He hated it. And one of the times I went back with Shadow, people never see this. You leave your wee animal under the vet, and they go in the kennels. Oh, you have to stay 24 hours, come back tomorrow, whatever it is. And you come back, and the wee things are pulling the lead to come out and see you, and the tail's wagging. And you say, oh, well, there's my wee thing, mate. You see after the operation, it is terrible what they go through. And one of the vets up in Oma, I took Shadow to, I told him, and he allowed me, Willow, he allowed me to take Shadow straight from the operating theatre out to my caravan. I took my caravan up to the vet, very nice man, and I laid with Shadow while Shadow came out of the anaesthetic, and it wasn't nice to see. The stress that he was under coming out of that, even though I was beside him. And I sat in the car park for the whatever hours it was before I left. Normally the time they spend in the kennel. And you think they're going through that every time, and he went through that 4 times. And you got to weigh up quality of life and all the rest. But at the same time, I don't want to lose her. Come on, Willow! Willow, come on out! She's got to run down my car. Come on this way, Pep. We'll go down now and get her out. Willow! Oh, that leads me to, now that vet there was a very nice vet. But Pets at Home, it's a retail park. It's a retail park. There it is, beside Sports Direct and Halfords. Maplin used to be beside it, they've closed down. It's upstairs, at the back. If I was to get Willow operated on in there, and she's upstairs in the back, no staff, shutters down, till somebody comes the next morning. And meanwhile, I hope that the IRA don't decide to blow up Halfords. Carpet right down there was blew up, and the smoke spread into cars and all the rest. There's nobody there to let her out. I would not want any of my pups, and it's just where it is. Pets at Home being a standard up in Carrickfergus, they bought the old McDonald's. If Pets at Home were in a standalone site, that would be different. But it's a retail park. And I tried different vets. And the vet I settled on then, they end up with Shadow, was Staban vet. Standalone building. It's an industrial estate, but it's a standalone building. So I think, although that I will pay for another consultation and take you to Staban vet. I'm going to get Staban vet to send away that sample. And if something needs done then, and you get an operation done, it'll be done up in Staban. And I'm sure Staban's not £145 for the sample. And definitely the operation's an all more reasonable price. Because the thing about Pets at Home, they set prices. If I was to get Willow done in Belfast, it's probably still £145 for that sample. If I got it done in London, maybe £165 for that sample. If you get it done in Staban, more local people. Staban is a very, very good vet. So I might ring them up and check them out. Here's the prescription here. I always have problems getting prescriptions and Pets at Home. Don't know why. It's always Pets at Home. Very easy to get. £15 for the prescription. This time she was very good to give me the 2 bottles what I wanted. So it's 1 bottle of 100ml of Loxicom. And I got 1 repeat. That means 2 bottles. But look, expiry date 1st of 12th, 21. It's supposed to be for 6 months. The prescription's supposed to last 6 months. So you can't use 2 bottles in 2 months. So I'm going to go in and get that checked out. Just got the prescription changed. It's now the 2nd of the 4th, 2022. So that's perfect. So I've always, nearly every time I go to Pets Home, they mess up the prescription. But there's no problem, you just read it. If I went to Staban, they would never give the prescription there and then. They want you to call back for it, because it was a bit of a hassle. They've all got doing ways. Here's Willow's wee hip joint. There is no joint. That joint there, the ball is far too big and the socket's half as deep, and that dislocates. Those are back legs. That's your back legs there. That's the worst. This was taken when she was 4 years old. There's arthritis there somewhere, I don't know. You need to be a vet, but there's arthritis there somewhere. There's like a growth of bone on there. That wee bit of bone there shouldn't be there. And if you see it in the original x-ray, it sort of digs in. That's why she needs a Loxicom. And the itch is much worse than what the Loxicom is. You can't show the itch on x-rays. And that's why she needs an Apoquel tablets. And there is side effects with drugs. There is. She's 10.5. And she's had a happy wee life. I was told walk Willow 10-15 minutes 4 years ago. What kind of life would she have had? But see, you go to different vets, you get different opinions. An old opinion a vet would have would be €7,000 or something for a hip replacement. But to get a hip replacement means they have to be in a cage for 6 months, or so I was told. They're not allowed to move at all until the bone and the joint join up. And all vet was telling me then that if you imagine you've got a pain, what is pain? There's wee nerve endings that send a signal to your brain. And them nerve endings wear away. It's probably the same as somebody, you know, somebody's got rotten teeth. Somebody's got a toothache. They can't stand the pain. The teeth look perfect, but they've got a toothache. And they're getting that bad, they feel like in their life. And then you get other people with their teeth completely rotten and broken and everything else. And yet they're getting along as normal. They're not having this pain. So they must get to a certain stage where the pain disappears. So that could be the wee Willow. The pain's going like, but this lump now, I wait to contact Staban vet. 145. Willow was checked out there. She's 10.5, 4 years ago. The vet was the vet in Staban noticed a wee murmur in her heart. And she thought it was Willow, it was me petting her. She noticed a wee murmur in her heart, that's it. She's only a vet. Specialist job to find out if there's anything wrong with her heart. The specialist is a man from Portadown, and he would call in the Staban vet once a week. And there's 3 tests needed. First test would be like an ultrasound thing, and it was going to cost so much, but it wasn't going to work. Like, she can get her ear things, but he wasn't going to get it. So that's the story. Like, but he could get it, but unlikely it's going to get it. And the second thing then would be a wee vest, and she'd wear the vest. If it was 24 hours or was it a week, you put a wee vest on her, and that would record the heart rhythm, and that cost so much. And if that was to show up something or didn't show up something, then there was a third test. To cut a long story short, all she would need is a wee tablet, which was cheap. 2 tablets to choose from. If you just imagine a plus and a minus, whatever it is. Give the wrong tablet, disastrous. And to find out whether it's the plus tablet or the minus tablet, you had to go through this test. £750 it was going to cost for this test. And yet 4 years later, and all these vets I go to, nobody has heard anything wrong with her heart. Had I not been with that vet on that day, now maybe there was something wrong with her heart. I was told there was problems with Lucy's heart, and Lucy died of heart failure at 18 years old. And you sometimes wonder, if I was to give Lucy heart tablets, she wouldn't have died of heart failure. She would have died with liver failure, probably when she was 12, with all the tablets. And that's why you don't give tablets or medicine unless you have to. Willow's on half the Loxicom she should be. I only give her 11 mil. She's 22 kilograms. So I need to get a kilogram weight off her. She should be 21. Because it affects the tablets. The Apoquel is full dose. It's half a tablet she gets a day. And she's is a wee bit itchy, not too bad, a wee bit of flaky skin. But so there's no possibility of reducing the Apoquel even if I could. Because she just is on the edge, it's just a wee bit itchy from time to time, ain't you, pet? So the next thing now is this lump. And Shadow got full of lumps, 3 or 4 lumps. They were tested, they were fatty, no problem. But I found a stray dog. And this is the thing, I found a stray dog. And I rang up the vet to see any chance of me taking it down and finding out the identity chip number. I rang a dog warden. Dog warden, he wasn't available. And I wouldn't be available the next morning or the rest. And he's telling me to take it to the vet, they would get the details. He couldn't give me the details, but they would pass the details on. I went down, no chips on the dog. And I left the dog with the vet. And the dog warden was to go with the vet then. But to cut a long story short, this dog had a lump. And the vet, I pointed out the lump in the dog. Oh, that's just a fatty lump. So if you've got a stray dog, that's just a fatty lump. But if you own something, oh, this needs investigation. You see where I'm coming from? Now, I took Shadow to a specialist vet in Belfast to get his paw operated on. And Shadow always had a wee lump near his ear, and it was a hard lump. So I've learned that soft lumps are okay. Hard lumps, be aware of. And he had a wee hard lump on his ear there. And when he went for the operation in Belfast, and bear in mind this Belfast vet, he's one of the top ones. It's over £1,000 for him. And I was saying to him, when he's got the anaesthetic, could you remove the wee lump? He says, no need to. And he left the lump. I'm sometimes wondering, like, the local vets, oh, remove that, remove it, get it out. Disaster happens. And a top specialist, it's only small, doesn't look like it's active. It's a bit like a volcano. If it's not growing. So she's got that wee lump, but right, if that lump gets a bit bigger, then it's active. It could be so slow growing, she could die with liver failure or something before the lump. So you see where I'm coming at now. It's not the fact that money, I have money in the bank. I'm not short of money now at the minute. Working too many hours, Willow. I'm not short of money at the minute. Anything Willow needs, she can have. but everything she gets is pain. And I went through it with a wee shadow and all. And Willow does not like vets either. And a lot of people, vets, you tell them about a bad leg, and then they're going to start poking her. They don't, you know, they won't put them x-rays on their records. I mean, they're moving her from the kennel. They don't realise just how bad a wee leg is. She doesn't like being picked up. She doesn't like shiny tables. She's all that stress to go through. I'll give Stuana a wee ring. It cost £145 and Pets at Home to send out that sample. But she says, and you know the way she says it, she says it could come back with a noiser. I can't remember the exact word she used. But basically, because of the variations, all they're basically testing for is a cancer now, and it might come back not known. So then you're then to an operation to remove the lump. Now you can remove the lump and not get it tested. But what you do then, and that's a mistake I made with Shadow. The lump was removed, I think it was £80 for the test, £100 for the test. I didn't get it tested. So if I get a lump removed now, I will pay for the test. So if I get the £145 out, then they have to remove the lump and send the lump off. So that's going to be more money. I don't know what it's going to cost. Ring up Staban Vet. They charge me £18.50 consultation fee, £90 for the anaesthetic and the biopsy of the lump. So that's what I'll discuss when I go up. You get a biopsy, because I haven't been speaking to them. This is a receptionist asking the vet. So I would say it wouldn't be a biopsy, the lump would be removed. If I went to Staban Vet, they'd just remove the lump. And then you can still send it off to find out if it was cancerous or not. And the test then to get it done, so total cost on Staban is £220 plus the £18.50 consultation fee. Now that sounds dear in Pets at Home, £145, but you get an answer. Why Pets at Home have that extra test is not needed, because the chances of coming back saying what it is still going to mean you're going to have to do an operation and remove the lump anyway. But the thing is, I can leave it. Nobody else sees a lump at her. Because she's not a kennel dog, I'm petting her, I'm hugging her. You're feeling her wee body all over, you're drying her with towels. If I took her on the vet today, chances they wouldn't have found that lump. So do I want to rush on this? So I'm going to forget about it now today. I'm going to try and enjoy the rest of our day now. It's very hard not to forget about it, but if I lose Willow, I can need cry thinking about it. So, you know, I can't lose my girl, like. But I'm not going to get tests done for vets for sake of her getting cut up. And with wee Shadow's paw, if I hadn't a Shadow, it'd be different. But Shadow's lump was removed 3 times and came back worse every time. The last time he got his wee biopsy done, sent off, I was aggressive cancer. But before the leave came back, his wee paw was, the stitches were still in it, and the whole paw just exploded. And even then, the vets hadn't finished. Oh, we can remove the leg, but we need to scan the rest of them to see if the cancer spread anywhere else. I can see there's a bit of lump starting on the top of the leg. All these tests and things. And that's why you have to sort of think, if it is cancer, then what? What do we do? Years ago there's no cure. They say you got cancer, you got so many months. At least you can enjoy them months. Well, now you don't always get them months because they're always stuck in a vet operating. Don't they, Pet? That's what they do. We're going to go back now to the car because we're doing the inner show 100 today. I just came down. You didn't do a poo down here, but you did a poo before you left the house. So I think now we'll forget about vets now for the day. We might get a call now from Pets at Home, but I'm not going to go on ahead with setting off that slide. £145 is not for slide. It's going to be none the wiser. I have a skin condition called psoriasis. It's genetic. And when I got COVID last October, my body exploded on it. And I rang up the doctor. I didn't even speak to the doctor. I rang the receptionist. And I told her, because it's a long time since I've been using ointment stuff, there's nothing on my repeat prescription. And I gave her the list of the stuff I wanted. 4 or 5 things I wanted. All the different things. And I had a prescription wrote out the next day. Doctor never seen me. I know what it is. I'm living with it. I know what I want to do with it. And you find that as you live with it, you try different things. I've been trying a new drug now. I've been given a couple of weeks to think now about trying a new drug, and this new drug can end up giving me cancer. That's one of the side effects. And a few weeks to think about it. But there's going to be a lot of tests involved starting this new drug. Don't have to use it. But apart from that, I never have any test done for anything. This is the first time now that I have to give a blood test. Whenever you get Loxicom off our dog, they want to do the blood test. I never pay for it. You just say no, I'm not paying for it. And you still get the Loxicom anyway. All these tests. So I try to treat Willow and my pups as I would be treating the NHS. Why do I have to take her down to get a prescription every 6 months? They don't do nothing. I didn't get the blood test, but I still get the prescription. Why can't I not get a prescription without having to go down? And you think in time in COVID, they still wouldn't give me a prescription without going down, which I thought was stupid. Way back at the start, you couldn't see doctors and all, and I had to go into a vet to get a prescription for something I'm going to use anyway. And they just read it out. You know, the only way they can find out if Loxicom is doing any damage is a blood test, which I'm not going to pay for. Not because there's no alternative. She needs a Loxicom. If the Loxicom is damaging her liver a bit, I can't stop it. She has no joint. And that's why there's no point in doing these tests unless you know what the return is going to be with it. If it doesn't change the outcome, why do it? I don't. And it's only now I'm getting this blood test myself. If I go ahead with this tablet, it's the first time. It's the same idea as her. What to do, you get a blood test to check what your kidneys are doing at the minute. And then you get another blood test later on and they can check if the kidneys are getting damaged or anything. But I have an option. I can come off the drug. If the drug's not agreeing with me, I can come off it. I don't have to go on it. It's been offered to me. But I'll go by the dermatologist, what she says. But I've already had 2 dogs on Loxicom. Lucy was on it from she was about 9 and she lived to 18. Shadow was on it from 4 years old and he lived to 14. And Willow's been on it since 4. Willow's been a higher dose. She's still only at a half a dose. We're heading towards the car now, pet, and we'll forget about bets for the rest of the day. But using it. Up you go now, honey. Atta girl.